Welcome to Stressless, the recliner that lets you create your own personal comfort zone. With a smooth reclining glide system that eases your body into the perfect position for total relaxation. Plus full lumbar support and a headrest that adjusts automatically. Stressless. Relax your body, free your mind.
Come, experience Stressless at Inbo Furniture in Cornelius.
Hi everyone, I'm Bill Rosinski. Welcome back to another edition of Sportsnight at South End Brewery. A special edition tonight. We're going to spend a half hour with one of the great Carolina Panthers. For 10 years, number 30 roamed that secondary on the Carolina defense, and he finally decided to call it a career the first week in the training camp this year. Mike Minter joins us. And Mike, you're looking good. Looks like retirement fits you well.
Well, you know, I'm pretty busy right now, but, you know, I miss it. I miss the game, and so I try to keep myself busy, you know, so I'll keep my mind on it. So it's something, especially the last couple of preseason games, been kind of rough to see the guys out there struggling.
Yeah, have you watched a game? Have you paid attention to what's going on?
Oh yeah, I done watched all 3 preseason games, and you know, I know the guys, and so I'm excited about the young guys that I think that's going to be great football players, and so you want to keep an eye on that, and especially, you know, the bold prediction that I made that they was going to win the Super Bowl. So, you know, I want to make sure that I'm a great prophecy.
Talk about those final days of training camp and how tough it was emotionally to decide that, hey, I can't play this game anymore. The body's not responding.
You know what? It was tough. I think any time that you're a competitor and that you have to give up something that you love so much, it's tough, and so coming into this season, I knew it was a possibility. That's why I knew that this was going to be my last season, and that I was going to move on after that. And you know, the amazing thing is God always has something else in store for you. When you think that it's going to go one way, He show you another way. And so you know, about 3-4 practices, I started thinking that this might be it, that I might not be able to go through it because the knees was hurting, and so I tried to push through it and asked a couple guys, you know, Mike Bunkley in particular, the chaplain on the team, and you know, he was pretty blunt with me, and let me know that, you know, I wasn't looking the same out there, and so basically, you know, I knew it was time. I talked to my pastor, I talked to John Fox and Marty Hurney, and of course Mr. Richardson, and once I talked to him, we had an emotional conversation, and at the end of that conversation, I knew it was time to retire.
And that emotion continued at that press conference, because I was there that day in Spartanburg. Have you watched any of that? Have you seen that press conference?
No, I have not seen the press conference. I've seen clips, but you know what? It's again, it's so emotional when you think about it, and when you see, you know, what people say about you and how they felt about you, it's very emotional. And at the same time, like I said, you're losing something that you love. And, you know, I lost my mom a year ago, and then to lose football on top of that a year later, it's been pretty rough, you know, these past couple of years.
Take us back to your childhood growing up. When did football become the game for you?
When I was probably about 5 or 6, football became the game to me. You know, I can remember the Pittsburgh Steelers playing the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl. You know, and just, you know, I was a Dallas fan growing up from Oklahoma, and I knew at that point I wanted to play football. It was something that was in me. It was something that I loved to do. I used to ball up a sock and play football in the house and jump over the couch and knock holes in the walls. And I had a younger brother that we used to play together all the time. So we would, you know, make up our own teammates, and we'll make up the opponent and playing in the championship and all those things. And when I first started playing organized ball was in the 3rd grade. And that's when I really started picking up the game as far as organized football was concerned. But at an early age, I knew football was the game that I wanted to play.
So how does a kid from Oklahoma go to Nebraska?
You know what, again, you know, I was in the 3rd grade when I'm watching the '83 championship game. and they were showing the highlights of Nebraska, getting ready for the Orange Bowl against Miami. And I fell in love with them at that point. I said, man, I want to play at that university. I want to play for that college. You know, at that time, you don't understand the rivalry between Oklahoma and Nebraska. But, you know, it just stuck in my heart at that time, and I wanted to go there. So my whole life, I had in my mind I was going to Nebraska, and so nothing else mattered.
And played for Tom Osborne?
Man, you know what? That's probably the greatest man I know is Tom Osborne, in the sense of very consistent, loved his players, respected his players, was a father figure to all of us, and you know what? You don't get any better than that when you're a player playing for a coach. And the thing is that no matter what level you was at, if you was a starter, if you was an All-American, if you was a backup, if you was a walk-on, he treated everybody the same. And that type of stuff right there, you can never walk away from it. So Tom Osborne, definitely was a great influence in my life, and the reason why I'm here today.
All right, now you are drafted by the Panthers in 1997 in the second round. You arrive on a team that had just gone to the NFC Championship game. You come from a great program, you come to a winning team, and you got to be thinking, okay, good things are happening. It took a long time for good things to happen, but you met a guy, a player who became your mentor, Eric Davis. Talk about the relationship you had with him.
You know what, when I came in here, the first thing I always do is look for a guy that I can latch on to. And I can remember the mini camps. Eric Davis didn't come because, under Don Capers, the veterans didn't have to go to things like that. And so we came to training camp, and I finally got to meet him. And right away, I knew he was the leader in that secondary. I knew he was one of the leaders on the defense. And I said, man, I want to learn from that guy. That's the guy I want to learn from. And so I latched on him right away. Everywhere he turned, I was right there behind him. And, he couldn't get rid of me. And so he had to take me under his wing because I wasn't going anywhere. But you know what? He was a guy that really showed me the game of football, what it meant to play the game and play it at a high level. He used to show me things that, that young players need to know, keys, what to look for. Don't be worried about everything on the field. Just worry about a couple things on the field. When you come out of your break, that's where you make your money. You got to go sprint through your break. And so things like that that made me a better player, that's what Eric Davis showed me. Then he showed me the business side of football. He said, Mike, look, the game, it's a game. We love it, but also it's a business. And you have to treat it as so. And so using that to, better yourself in your life. And he had a great example because he have done that through his career. And so he showed me how to do it. And so I'm very thankful for everything he showed me. And he said, only one thing I want you to do is the things that I show you, I just want you to show somebody else.
And you've taken that advice because I know you've tutored a lot of these guys who've come through this organization.
Well, that's, again, I think that just stuck in my mind that, once I get it, I want to give it to somebody else because he told me that. And that was the thing. So when I see a young guy come in, my whole thing is to show him, what the coaches is not talking to him about all the time. The little things that when you can only know if you're on the football field.
And you had a chance to play with some of the all-time greats. Kevin Green came back for a while. Reggie White was signed by the team. You had to, when you see guys like that come in, you go, hey, man, that's Reggie White.
You know what? That was so crazy. I mean, to imagine, because, you grow up watching these guys and the Sam Mills and Reggie White and Swan, he was there. He came. And so when these guys come on the football field, you just sit there and say, man, that's Reggie White right there, man. And he on my football team. And Reggie used to hang around with the DBs all the time. And so we used to DBs always cracking jokes on each other. That's all we do. And Reggie would jump right in the middle, and he would join into it. So, it made it cool because he was a fun guy. He wasn't a guy that was stuck up on himself. He was a guy that had fun. Kevin Green the same way, a guy that, respected people and played hard, and he respected you when you played hard. And so when you have guys like that come up to you and say, Mike, you know what, I respect your game because you play with intensity, and you play the game right. See, when you have guys like that say that, man, it takes it to another level for you.
There was a time you thought about maybe signing somewhere else, an opportunity. Maybe I think you were almost getting to get on a plane to go to Cleveland. Tell us about that.
You know what? It was actually I was at my pastor's house. We was having a function over there that night, and Cleveland had called me, and I was getting ready to go the night before. So they had called me, and Butch Davis was the coach at the time, and he got on the phone. He's like, "All right, Mike, you ready? You ready to come up here? We got everything planned for you. It's gonna be a great time. Looking forward to seeing you." So on and so forth. I'm like, "Yeah, coach, I'm gonna be there." And then all of a sudden, I got off the phone with him and went home, and everything just started happening. I talked to Mr. Richardson on the phone, and then all of a sudden I talked to George Seifert, and then the deal happened. You talking about the 12th hour. Yeah, it was right there, because the next morning I was leaving, and I knew that if I left to Cleveland, they was gonna sign me to a deal that I couldn't refuse. So, thank God that we stayed. Me and my wife, we prayed about it, and we knew that this was a place to be. That God was gonna do some amazing things with us here, and so I thought that meant winning a Super Bowl the next year, and it didn't work out that way, because I think the next season we won 1-15, so that wasn't good.
Mike Minter with us here on Sports Night at South End Brewery. We'll be back more with Mike right after this.
Sports Night at South End Brewery is brought to you by South End Brewery and Smokehouse, offering fine cuisine, custom crafted beers, and the #1 microbrewery in the South. And by Imbo Furniture, Scandinavian and contemporary designs. Fox Tops All, the countertop specialist. Call now and ask about our starting line selections. Hendrick Lexus. Come see Ronaldo Turnbull and get the keys to your luxurious new Lexus today. Thinking of updating your existing countertops? Then call the countertop specialists at Fox Tops All. Fox Tops All is a leading provider of premium custom manufactured countertops, which we fabricate to your specs. No matter how large the project, Fox Tops All believes in exemplary customer service from the moment you walk through our doors until the last installed surface meets your satisfaction. Come visit our Mooresville showroom today and see for yourself why Fox tops all.
Hi, I'm Ronaldo Turnbull. Commitment to excellence has been the cornerstone for all my professional endeavors. Here at Hendrick Lexus, I pride myself on providing my guests with exceptional service. I will educate you about our Lexus lineup and provide you with an outstanding experience. Hendrick Lexus offers one of the largest selections of new and certified pre-owned Lexus vehicles in the South. Our service team is one of the most well-respected groups in the Lexus network. So come on by as my guest and let me show you what makes Hendrick Lexus so special.
Welcome to Stressless, the recliner that lets you create your own personal comfort zone. With a smooth reclining glide system that eases your body into the perfect position for total relaxation. Plus full lumbar support and a headrest that adjusts automatically. Stressless. Relax your body, free your mind.
Come, experience Stressless at Inbo Furniture in Cornelius. Thinking of updating your existing countertops? Then call the countertop specialists at Fox Tops All. Fox Tops All is a leading provider of premium custom manufactured countertops, which we fabricate to your specs. No matter how large the project, Fox Tops All believes in exemplary customer service from the moment you walk through our doors until the last installed surface meets your satisfaction. Come visit our Mooresville showroom today and see for yourself why Fox tops all. Sports Night at South End Brewery is brought to you by South End Brewery and Smokehouse, offering fine cuisine, custom crafted beers, and the #1 microbrewery in the South. And by Imbo Furniture, Scandinavian and contemporary design. Fox tops all, the countertop specialist. Call now and ask about our starting line selections. Hendrick Lexus. Come see Ronaldo Turnbull and get the keys to your luxurious new Lexus today.
Welcome back, Sports Night at South End Brewery. I'm Bill Rosinski, and our special guest, and I hate to say former Carolina Panther, Mike Minter. Mike, a couple of the things I want to talk about your football career with the Panthers. You went through an awful 1-15 season, but then 2 years later, you got to the Super Bowl. Tell me about those 2 seasons and the emotions, the highs and lows of what that was like.
You know what? It would have been different, I guess, if we'd have won 14 or lost 14 games in a row instead of 15. I mean, that was unbelievable because we go to Minnesota and we beat Minnesota. This is a team that was supposed to go to the Super Bowl and predicted to do great things, and we beat them in Minnesota. So we jacked up. We're excited. We think, all right, we on our way. And, you know, we lost the next game, and then we lost the next game, and we lost 3 more after that. And then after a while, man, it was kind of comical in the sense of, you know, we'll get close and we'll lose at the end of the game. And then you look up and you lost 15 games in a row. And I tell people all the time, how do you lose 15 games or anything in a row? You know, somewhere along that line, you're going to get lucky and win one. And we just couldn't. So it was tough. It was a very tough season. But what I did know is that what a coach is going to look at is guys who still going hard regardless of the fact of what their record looks like. And so that was my goal. My goal was to go out there and play as hard as I can regardless of what the scores say or what our records say. And then all of a sudden you go 2 years later, you go to the Super Bowl. Now you're talking about the complete opposite of the spectrum of that season. That season, the process, and I always talk about the process of that season, was unbelievable. I mean, we started out 5-0. We just beat Indianapolis there in Indianapolis. People excited about the Panthers.